Hey guys, welcome back to Character Red. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you for watching my video. I'm John, and like I said, this is Character Red. What I'm showing you today is how I made this basic workbench that I'm hoping to turn into the ultimate workbench. And I did this for under $150. So everything that you see is 3/4 inch plywood, and I had some screws, I had some Titebond, and I put this sucker together. So make sure you hit that like if you like this video. Let's stay tuned, and we are going to dive into the build on how I made this thing. So stick around.
Alright guys, so jumping into the first step of this build, we're going to cut all the pieces to length. You're going to need 4 legs and 2 side panels. Also, you're going to need 2 bottom rails to be the runners and 2 top rails to be the runners, and then a full sheet of plywood on top. Once you get that cut to length, then we can move on to the next step.
Alright guys, so as you can see, everything's cut. So down here I've got my 2 end pieces. I've got the runners for the bottom brace and the top brace. I've got my bigger leg, and then I've got the smaller leg piece. So I'm going to join these together, make 4 legs. These are going to be my 4 runners, and then I'm going to have 2 sides that I'm going to join together. Again, all these are getting pre-drilled, and they're going to be put together with Titebond 2. So stay tuned.
If you guys are interested in these plans, I have put a link in the description below. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm cutting my legs down to the final length, and then we're going to move into actually joining the legs together. So you're going to have 2 smaller pieces. So one side of the legs are going to be 4 inches, and the other side is going to be 3 1/4 inches. That way it can maximize the space that you have for your French cleat rails.
Alright, so far so good. Right now what I got is all 4 of the legs are in clamps. They're drying. I want to make sure that Titebond 2 really sets in really good. And I've got the 2 side pieces that are cut out, so that'll be the next step. You want to make sure that you really let your glue set and have a good chance to get hardened up. That way you have the most sturdy workbench that you could possibly have. Thing's got to at least last me 3 years, and who knows, maybe if it's good enough, I'll take it back to the States, and you know, that'll be one of the mainstays in the new shop, or the newer shop. You know what I'm saying. After we get back to the States, we're gonna have another shop. Anyway, I'm just ranting. That's the status right now. So we're gonna let that set up, and then I will be back down here in just a little bit to go on to the next step. See ya.
Okay, so here I am attaching the side panels to each of the legs, and I'm going to do this all by pre-drilling and then drilling in screws. So you can use regular wood screws. I'm using 2-inch wood screws on this, and then of course clamp it. I also reinforced it with some 23 gauge pin nails, and I moved on to the next side. Once you have this done, you have a majority of the build complete, and then you're going to have to start attaching your side runners, and it really starts to come together. Alright, so with attaching your side runners, what you want to remember is you're going to put it at the bottom portion of the panel, and then for your top side runners, you are going to attach them to the very top of the build, because the top is actually going to rest on them and the legs. Once again, I am attaching everything with screws, and also those 23 gauge pin nails, and Titebond 2 is throughout this entire product. If you do not use the wood glue, you're not going to have as sturdy of a bench as you could, so I would definitely not skip that step, because it really ties it in together.
I was a little bit more excited about it, but
sorry, it's not a shelf, so.
well, the shelf's coming. I'm gonna have to edit out. What the hell am I thinking? Alright guys, so have you ever just blanked out on what you were gonna say? Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna get it right, I promise you. Alright guys, so now we got the bottom runners on, and you can see how the sides are. So plan is for French cleat storage over here, French cleat storage over here. So if I have enough room, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to place, I don't even know if you guys can see me. Alright guys, so I've got the runners attached. I'm gonna let these set up. I've got a middle kind of support. It's gonna go on with the foot. That way the center of this thing is nice and sturdy. So you can see how the sides are. They're pretty much like a quarter sheet of plywood a piece. So I remember I had to modify these plans in order to fit what I had in Japan. But the plans are on each side of the workbench. On the outside, it's going to be French cleats. So if I can do my cordless power tools on one side, my plan is for like my clamps and stuff like that. So hopefully we got enough room. I've got about 32 inches right here, so I'm taking a little bit off, so it's kind of a small space to work with. It's what I had to do in order to have the top kind of overlap and everything. That way I can get all the other attachments. So you got to do what you got to do. We might have to make a clamp rack or something like that, and just use these sides for cordless tool storage. So, all right, so I'm going to start measuring this because we got to get the bottom in, and it's coming together. It looks like a tool bench or a workbench. Tool bench. Workbench. It's hot here, so I'm losing my mind.
Alright, now for the bottom, we are going to attach a piece that's going to act as a center brace. This is also going to allow you to put drawer storage in the workbench at the bottom in the future. So I'm not including that in this video, but it will be in the next video for all the upgrades in order for it to become the ultimate workbench. After this, you're going to start with your top runners, and then we are almost ready to adjoin the top. So it's really taking form now. So in the previous voiceover, I actually forgot that we're going to place the bottom shelf down. So this is where you can add a lot more storage into the workbench and a lot more flexibility to what you need custom. And as you can see, I'm pretty excited to have this portion of the build done, and then we move into the top runners. So again, you are going to make sure that these line up flush with the top of your workbench, because you want this to be a nice even resting spot for the top of it. Alright, so as I am wrestling with this and trying to get it in place and trying to make sure that it's on there perfect, I'm going to go ahead and clamp it down, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to draw a line all the way around. So with me doing this, I'm going to take all the clamps off, flip it over as you can see, and now I know where my pieces are going to be. That way I can pre-drill all the holes in for the top. This is the only portion of the build that I did not put Titebond 2 on. And the reason being is because I'm going to countersink these screws, and this top is going to get beat up over time. After it's beat up, then I'm going to simply just remove the screws and I'm going to put a new top on it, and it's just as good as new. So you want to make sure that you also seal this, and that's going to give you a little bit more protection and make your top last a little bit longer. So once I'm done with this, my last step that I'm going to do is hit everything with a round over bit, any sharp edges that I could possibly catch myself on, and this is just going to make it a little bit better looking to the eye, a little aesthetically pleasing, and it's also going to allow me to not, cut myself and make it just a little bit easier to work with. But yep, thank you guys for watching the video, and stay tuned for the upgrade builds, and we'll see you next time.
He does not want anything going up on the walls that could damage the walls, because they're concrete. There's a lot of storms, I forget what they call them. They're hurricanes back in the States. I think they're not tsunamis, they are typhoons. That's it, typhoons. God. Alright guys, if you're new here, my name is John. It's been a long time since I've actually put out a video that I am comfortable with, and thanks for checking out another video, and as always, Thanks for cracking a little American character with me. Let me tell you, these kids keep walking by my house, and I got the garage door open, that way there's no echo. And they just keep looking at me like I'm the craziest man for talking to this camera. But it's working. I don't know. I guess they're just gonna continue to think I'm crazy.
Sorry, we'll stop.
I'm too deep now. Too deep to stop. I'm just rambling. Guys. Alright, with that, I'm gonna get out of here and I will catch you later.